Hello and welcome to another yoga studio. I am Kat, if you haven't joined in with us before, and it's lovely to have everyone on the mat here today with me for our mobilizing your hips mini class. So shouldn't really need too much equipment, but possibly something like a strap, a belt, scarf or something like that might be useful for a couple of the positions we're going to be in. But as long as you've got some space on the floor to move around, we will be all okay. All right, so we are going to come round onto your back. Bend the knees. Bring your hands on the belly and on your chest. So, because as with any of our movement, we are with our classes, we try to, excuse me, I've got something in my eye. We try to move mindfully. We want to then just be aware of the breathing. So let's take a couple of breaths in and out just to find our inhale and exhale. So you can take some nice slow full breaths in. Go for one more. Okay, good. All right. So we'll take the right leg up. Stretch the left leg away from you. Don't worry if you need to keep a little bend in the left leg at this stage. And we're going to rock the right knee from side to side. So we just want to bring a bit of movement into the hip. Give it a little bit of a warm up before we actually really start to work on some of the exercises. So rocking. And then see if you can draw some circles with the hip. We'll keep the knee bent. You can make those circles as big or as small as you like. So even though we're warming up, we're already starting to kind of mobilize the joint. And then back the other way. Okay, let's swap sides. So take the right leg down. We'll bring the left knee up into the chest. Right leg stretches away, same thing. Moving the leg from side to side. Maybe noticing already that one side is feeling a little bit stiffer than the other. And then draw some circles. Again, we'll make those circles as big or as small as we like. Maybe getting a bit of popping or clicking or creaking going on. And then round the other way. Good. And then bring both knees up in towards your chest. We'll just take a little squeeze of the knees to the chest. That might be over the shins or over the thighs. And if you already find that this is a little bit tricky, grab that little prop we were talking about, your strap or your scarf, belt, and we'll hook it round the back of the knees. So we can bring the legs in and up towards you, and then maybe take a little rock there from side to side. And then take the legs all the way down towards the floor. Open the arms out, and we're just going to have a little windscreen wipe of the knees from side to side, getting a little twist through the back. See if you can breathe out as you roll one way. Back to the middle, we'll breathe in and then breathe out the other way. So exhaling to the side, inhaling to the middle. We'll go for one more in each direction. So I've had a nice little bit of movement through the back there as well. And then we're coming back into the middle and we'll start with our first little exercise. So we're going to try and cross the right leg over the left and squeeze the thighs in as much as you can. Don't worry if you don't get there. If you end up in a bit more of a figure four shape, we can be in a figure four shape. And again, this is one where our strap might be useful. So we're going to bring our knees up and in towards the chest. So if you need it, you can always put the strap round the back of the leg so you can actually give yourself a little bit of a tug up if you need it from the floor. So as you breathe out, we're going to bring the knees up and then you can add that extra little squeeze in. So again, maybe the strap helps take the feet down. So exhale, come up, extra little squeeze and lower. You might find you notice it more in one hip than the other. It's generally going to be the leg that's on top. One more. And then lower the feet down. Uncross the legs and let's swap sides. So experiment, see how it feels to swap the legs over. You might already notice that there's a difference between how one hip wants to move and how the other hip wants to move. And then we're going to breathe out, come up, squeeze in. So maybe on this side you need to put the strap in so you get that little bit of extra help to pull you inwards. Maybe get that last little squeeze. So breathing out, breathing in to lower. If you notice there is a big difference between the sides, it doesn't matter. Just simply noticing our bodies aren't symmetrical, much as we like to think they are. And last one. And then unravel the legs. And we'll come up to sitting. And we're going to come round then onto our knees. So if you've got a nice mat underneath you and the floor is okay and you feel all right kneeling, we don't need to put any more support in. If you want to cushion your knees a little bit more, we're going to take a cushion under the right knee and stretch the left leg out in front. You haven't got it could be a small tea towel that's folded up or your jumper or anything, just to give yourself a little bit of extra padding. So we're coming into a lunge position and we're going to start with the knee underneath the hip. If you find yourself a little bit wobbly, move over, use the couch, a chair, anything nice and firm that you can lean on for a little bit of support. So as you breathe out, we're going to rock forwards. As you breathe in, push it back, and you could even try coming back a little way the other way, all the way down to the hip to heel if you can, and then breathe out. Push it forwards. So we're going to get a nice little opening through the front of the hip, and then closing the hip off. And it doesn't matter how far you come down, you don't need to come all the way back towards the heel. It might be that you actually finish back in that neutral position and then take a little lean forwards there. So we're going to breathe in as we come up, breathe out, come forwards, and then we're exhaling as we fold back the other way. So exhale, come forwards, wherever that might be. It might even be just an inch or so forwards. And then exhale in, coming back. It doesn't matter how far we come down, we might just be closing without straightening the knee very much. So exhale, take it back. Let's go for 2 more if we can. We can stop whenever we need to. Might even be getting a nice little stretch on the hamstring there for the last one. So we come backwards. And then sit yourself all the way up, or push yourself all the way up rather, and let's swap the legs over. So again, if you need it, make sure the supporting leg's got a nice little bit of cushioning in underneath. And then we're coming into that lunge position. And then we're breathing out, coming forwards. And then all the way back. So if you find you really can't do this exercise kneeling, we're going to come back round onto our back. We'll have one knee in, and then as you swap over, pull the other knee in. So you can slide the leg up, slide the leg away. Otherwise, if we're back in that lunge position, we're going to keep the rhythm going. We're on number 4. Maybe you're coming back into this position just as far as you feel you can go, and then breathing in, sitting back up. Good. See if you can go, keep working with it. Exhaling as you come into that little lean forwards with the chest, maybe a little rock back with the knees. Remember, if that just looks like this, that's absolutely fine. We're closing the hip off. We've got one more to the front. And then one more where we're dropping, taking it back and rounding forwards. And then push yourself back up into that neutral position. Okay, so we're going to come to a seated position now. We've got one more we are going to do with the knees, but we'll give the knees a little bit of a rest. So a little bit of jiggling ourselves around for this one today. So we're leaning back with the hands. Try to keep your spine nice and long through to the crown of the head. And the feet are just a little bit wider than the hips. And we're going to go into a big windscreen wipe movement. So as you breathe out, we're going to roll the knees to the side. So if you can come all the way down to the floor, we come all the way down to the floor. Breathe in, back to the middle, and then breathe out, roll the knees the other way. So if that means you only come part way, that's all you need to do. Breathe into the middle. So breathe out, round, come to the middle, breathe out the other way, and then to the middle. So a nice bit of rolling, rotating through the hips. Sometimes you find you start to travel with this one. Slowly start to inch your way forwards. And sometimes as well, as we work through it, starts to get just a little bit easier. And so if that might mean you come a little bit further towards the floor. If you're already touching the mat, see if you can press into the mat a little bit with your thighs, your calves. Make the most of the movement. The upper body is staying fairly straight to the front, so we know it's the hips that we're moving through. One more to either side. Good. And then come back into the middle. We can give the legs a little shake out. Okay, so we're going to come round into a kneeling position. So we'll set the exercise up for kneeling, and then we can come find an alternative if our knees have just had enough and they don't want to take anymore. So, move my strap out the way, give myself a little bit of space. Okay, so we're going to be kneeling on the right leg, and we're going to take the left leg out to the side. And we're going to rock forwards and backwards into almost like a child's pose position. So as you exhale, send the hips back. Inhale. Come forward. So exhale. Send it back. Inhale. Coming forward. So we're getting a nice little stretch through the inner thigh. If you're going to do it on the floor, we'll do it with a bent knee, and we're going to go out to the side. Come to the center. Out to the side. Come to the center instead. So if you're laying on your back, you're working through the bent knee. If we're kneeling, we're working with the straight leg. Whichever position we're in. We're going to go for 2 more. And then swap the legs over. So we've got the right leg out to the side, left leg bent, and then exhale. Rock it back. And up. So again, you can do this one on your back if you need to. And the further the foot is out to the side, the more we're going to work through the inner thigh. And then push yourself all the way back in. And let's come around. We could do this lying on the floor or seated. And just hold the knees in. Maybe have a little rock. And then take a moment there. Rounding forwards over the hips, the thighs, the knees. Letting everything stretch out, relax. And then we'll sit up. Give the legs a little shake out. All right, fantastic. So that's our little hip mobilization sequence. So just repeat that as often as you feel you need to keep your hips moving. And if you enjoyed this little class, give it a thumbs up. And you can leave any comments or questions below. And I'll see you on the mat again on another time. So if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button now so you know when our videos come out. Okay then, take care now. Bye.